Malacca is an important historical city in Malaysia, about 1.5 hours drive from Kuala Lumpur. When we get here, first come to the Dutch Square riverside. Check out all the red colored buildings and the clock tower. We first then cross the bridge and drive towards Jonker Street and Heeren Street. As we get across the bridge, we see the entrance to Jonker Walk, an important tourist destination in Malacca. We then make a turn and we drive into Jonker Street. This road is closed on weekend evenings. On weekdays, we can drive through here. We try to find a parking around here so we can walk around. When we get here, take photos at the main Jonker Walk archway. Walk along Jonker Walk and explore the many shops. There is an evening weekend night market here. Walk around the small roads and explore the old houses. Around the area, walk to the Special Temple Street. You will find a Chinese temple, Muslim mosque and Hindu temple near to each other. First, the Chinese temple named Cheng Ho Gallery Chinese Temple, one of the oldest Chinese temples in Malaysia. Note the opening hours. Then walk towards the Kampung Mosque, one of the oldest mosques in Malacca. When visiting any house of worship, mind the dress code and do not make too much of noise. So this is the Kampung Mosque in Malacca. Then we walk to the Sri Poyada Vinayaga Murti Hindu temple, which is not far away, all along the same street. These three houses of worship are old and are historical places. Walk then towards the riverside and explore the Kim Seng Bridge, one of the most important bridges since hundreds of years ago. This bridge links both sides of Malacca. Sometimes you can see the Malacca River cruise boat passing by. This is the Malacca River. In the evenings, this place is lit beautifully, so one should visit here both on the daytime and the evening time. Nearby, walk over to the Bastion Middleburg Dutch fort wall. Here you can see structures of rebuilt old walls. Then we can take a short walk to the historical vehicle park. Here you can see replicas and models of planes and trains. Then we walk to the famous Famosa area, the most important landmark or historical location of Malacca. Nearby, visit the Proclamation of Independence Memorial Building. This is like a free museum. And then take some time to visit the Malay Sultanate Palace Museum. This is built in an old historical style. Then visit the Famosa Fort, the most important historical icon of Malacca, also known as the Porta de Santiago. This itself is just a gateway into the fort, what is left of the fort, because the fort is actually much bigger. From a Famosa fort, climb up to St. Paul's Hill to visit the St. Paul's Church ruins. It is not a very high climb, so a short climb, and there is the oldest church ruins in the country, built by the Portuguese in the 1500s. As we climb up, we can enjoy the view of Malacca in the distance, explore outside of the church ruins, and imagine how this was like when it was built a few hundred years ago. From the front of the church ruins, see the statue of St. Francis Xavier, a missionary in the 1500s. And we walk towards the entrance of the ruins and explore the historical site. Look up to the grand tall building, and as we enter, notice the many stone tablets around the church. And head towards the end and visit the crypt at the end of the church. It is empty now, and visitors sometimes throw coins inside to make a wish. Around the crypt area, you can still see many stone tablets. Walk back to the Dutch Square and visit some of the many museums along the way. One of the important ones is the Cheng Ho Gallery. The Stadthuys was the Dutch administrative building in the 1600s, and it is painted red today. This is the Malacca Clock Tower, a good place for photos, and visit the Queen Victoria Fountain in the Dutch Square. And nearby is the Christ Church, one of the oldest Anglican church in Malaysia. This entire area is called the Dutch Square. Take a walk back to the riverside and walk along the Malacca River. This walking path is accessible in the daytime and also in the evening time. Occasionally, you can also see the Malacca River cruise boats riding by, and you can also take the Malacca River cruise experience from one of the many ports. Here is an example of the port, and along there visit the Malacca street art walk. Beautiful paintings along the path. A good place for photos as well. Walk back to Jonker Walk and keep exploring. The Hang Kasturi Mausoleum is located within the Jonker Walk. Take your time to continue to explore the many shops along Jonker Walk. And this is also the best place to purchase any souvenirs. Finally, today we take a drive past the Little India of Malacca. Stop by and do some shopping. This is also a good place for some good Indian food. This is our short video for 20 plus attractions in Historical Melaka in half a day. Definitely visit Malacca if you visit Malaysia. This is 1.5 hours from Kuala Lumpur.